Hello there and welcome to this Bolt Action version 3 battle report. So today guys I'm going to be continuing on a campaign I'd actually started before version 3 rules had dropped on the Battle of the Bulge. So I was very pleased to see that the 3rd edition release set was with the Battle of the Bulge, but to be fair I'd already got a lot of the units from the older range, some of the metal models, and already got my scenery and stuff ready to go. But it was nice to see some new models coming out anyway, and I have bought some of the new Jaeger models, which look really nice as well. But I thought I'd just crack on with the campaign with the new rules. I've managed to, I think they're very adaptable, even though it was done for 2nd edition, they're very adaptable scenarios for the new version as well. Just a few minor tweaks, I think. So today's scenario is number 3 from the campaign book, The Battle of the Bulge, from Warlord, the Battle of St.Vith. So in this battle here, the Germans have caught the Americans off guard, and St.Vith is a vital crossroads town that they need to push through to keep on their timetable. And it's held by, St.Vith's being held by inexperienced troops from the 106th Infantry Division, with some support from the 9th Armoured. So the basis of this scenario is the Germans have got to push through St.Vith and get through and continue on their journey basically. And within it, but they need to get the Americans off this vital crossroads. So I'll run through some of the scenario rules, etc., and go over the troops as we go through. Right, so let's just run through St.Vith then and some of the deployments. So the Americans have to deploy basically within the 12 to 24 inch zone here, running across the board, and they at least half the troops or units need to be deployed. And the rest can come on from reserve. That's going to be a tactical decision because the Germans do get a preparatory bombardment beforehand, so realistically they don't have too many units out here for that. The scenery, basically all the buildings can be occupied. We've got the road here that runs down the centre. Any walls are going to be hard cover, and any fencing like this one down here will be soft cover. And then in terms of the Americans have also got a minefield which they've set out here. This is an anti-tank minefield, so obviously that's protecting the road in there. And then in terms of the trees here, these are all clumped together to make dense terrain. So basically anything behind these trees here, you won't get line of sight. Once you're in the tree line, obviously you're in the cover itself. There's also some other dense terrain down here. And just gives the Germans, because Germans will be advancing this way, just gives them an advantage. Well, it says in the rules to set up sort of like they're coming out of the woods forest area here into St.Vith. So that's how I've done that. Some of the other rules, the actual campaign books are really quite smart because they give you lots of different things, which actually now have appeared in the version 3 rules anyway. But this scenario's got fog, it's a very misty, foggy day. So you can't have any forward air observers for aircraft. And also visibility has been reduced down. So it says 18 inches in the rule book, but I have played a little bit of a test game on this and I found it was a bit too short for my liking. So I've reduced all the ranges down to 24. So no visibility or weapon ranges beyond 24 inches. Okay, so that's St.Vith. In terms of the actual game itself, so basically the Germans have got to push through the village here and obviously take out as many American troops as possible. So victory points wise, the Americans get 1 victory point for any unit that is in their deployment zone, both on the end of turn 3 and at the end of the game. And the Germans get 2 points for any units they destroy, and then 3 points for any units that get through and off this table edge here. So that's how they're going to be scoring points. Okay, so that's the general overview of the St.Vith and the rules of the game. 6-turn game, roll for 1 additional turn if needed. So I'm just going to go over the troops now so you can see what the forces are. Right, so we'll run through the German army first. So the first thing to say, the Germans do get an advantage in points wise anyway. So it says they should have 25% more points than the American player. So that's how I'm running this. So this is my rifle platoon. So I've got a platoon commander. Also got a squad of Waffen SS at the front there in the winter outfit, and then there's basically three identical Heer Grenadiers squads at the back there. In terms of loadouts, the Waffen SS have got, these are all, by the way, these are all metal models from Warlord Games. So basically you've got the NCO and 3 other guys have got assault rifles. There's an LMG in there, the rest are with rifles. And then for these squads, all identical loadouts, so sergeants get SMGs, there's a LMG, 2 assault rifles, then the rest are rifles, and each of the infantry squads here, the here Grenadiers have got 1 Panzerfaust each as well, so they're all ready to go. That's the infantry platoon. They've also got a Hanomag as their support vehicle, and that's got an MMG on it as well. So one of these units is probably going to start in this vehicle and come on that way. And then we've got a heavy weapons platoon, so we've got again an MMG on tripod there. We've got a platoon commander, and we've got a heavy mortar with, medium mortar with spotter. By the way, these are all regular troops. Obviously the Waffen SS are veterans. I haven't upgraded them to fanatics because obviously the points were getting a bit high, so just kept them as standard. These are all regulars, and the here Grenadiers are regulars. And then we've got an armoured platoon, so we've got the good old Panther, the Panzer V, and that's got also an additional pintle-mounted MMG as well as the loadout. And then we've got the Stug, trusty old Stug as well, and again that's got its standard loadout there. So, so good bit of armour to support the attack. I do like the Panther. I think some really nice models you get for those ones. So that's the Germans. So that comes to, I think it's 1,382 points. So so yes, so they've got 25% more points than the Americans. So let's go over the Americans and see what they've got. Right, so over to the American army. So first thing to say, these are all inexperienced, all the infantry. And that's, again, the rules just talk about these being new units effectively to the battlefield, so they're facing a little bit more veteran kind of German units, although obviously they're all regular for this particular mission. And again, I've got basically company commander, platoon commander, and then we've got 4 identical squads. Again, these are all the metal Warlord models, so obviously they've brought out the new range now, but I'd already kind of bought and painted all these, so I mean, they're still nice. I think what happens is you end up with kind of all the same poses. As you can see, all the sergeants have got the same pose. So yeah, a little bit limited in that respect, but still very nice models. And I've tried to sort of mix up the colours and the helmets and some of the paintings. So you know, once they're done on the table, you can't really tell they're all basically the same 10 models repeated 4 times. But there you go. And their loadout's very the same. So sergeant's got SMG. There's 2 BARs, and all the rest are rifles or carbines. Also in that rifle platoon you've got a sniper squad, a team. Now the lowest grade can be regular, there isn't an inexperienced sniper team, so that's the only thing that's not there, so they are actually regular. We've got a bazooka team, again these are inexperienced, so that's the rifle platoon. And as you can see, you get quite, because of inexperienced, you get, although it's 25% less points, you get a lot of them. Also, these have got the fanatics rule, so they've got a bit of a, although they're kind of not the most experienced troops, it's a bit of a, they are surrounded, so there's a bit of a fight to the death feel about them. So yeah, they all get fanatics, which is interesting. Then we've got a heavy weapons platoon, so you've got the platoon commander there. These are all inexperienced. I've invoked the 3 MMG rules. We've got 3 MMG teams, which you can have as 1 slot for the Americans. It's one of their special rules. I've also got a medium mortar and spotter. So again, plenty of firepower here, but inexperienced. So, you know, base roll is -1, so they're going to be hitting on 5. So not the most accurate, but hopefully the weight of fire will help. Then we've got an artillery platoon, so I've got a platoon commander there. I've got the trusty 57mm anti-tank gun there, but again inexperienced. So again, not the most accurate, but obviously shooting at tanks, get the +1, so in the new rules, so that's pretty good. And then we've got an armoured platoon as well, so we've got the Wolverine here, which is the tank destroyer, and we've got the Greyhound, which is the kind of recce vehicle. We've also both got the pintle-mounted HMGs, so heavy machine guns, so again a little bit more firepower coming from them. So yeah, so that's the American force. I think it's about 1,080 points, I think it's roughly about 1,080, so it's 25% less than the Germans, but you still get a fair few. So let's get over and see the initial deployment then. Right, so I've deployed some American units down. So I've gone for 9, because you need at least half. So they've got 17 units, so 17 order dice. So even with just over 1,000 points, I've got 17 order dice. That shows you how cheap, inexperienced troops are. So we've got the sniper down here, just covering this arc here. Also got the bazooka out there. Got the platoon commander for the heavy weapons team there, because we've got an MMG in this building and this building on the first floor. So just take these off, you can see they're all there. And then we've got the platoon commander and the anti-tank gun down here, and then we've got the medium mortar on this side, just covering the angles across here. And then you've got the spotter just on this very extreme flank here, just covering across, because obviously a lot of these trees are blocking line of sight, just trying to maximise the angles. And then there's another MMG team in this part of the building here on this first floor. So again, they're in there. So just trying to cover some fire arcs. So the little markers, so units can begin the game dug in. So these guys are all dug in. So these little markers just represent the fact they've had time to dig some foxholes and get themselves prepared for the onslaught. And again, for the units in the buildings, they've been able to beef up their barricades and get ready. So that's the end of deployment. So we're ready to kick off. So as I say, the Americans have got 17 order dice, and the Germans have got 11. So a bit of an advantage on the dice for the Americans. So let's just see how we get on. So we're going to do the preparatory bombardment, and let's see what effect that has. I'll just do that off camera, but I'll show you the results. Right, the smoke is clearing from the preparatory bombardment. The Americans have got their heads down. So luckily the spotter here, he got off scot-free. Got a few single pins scattered around here. The anti-tank gun didn't hit that. That was good. However, the heavy weapons platoon took a bit of a pasting, to be honest. So they were okay, but these guys took 2 pins and got a casualty. The heavy mortar took 2 pins, and this MMG team also took 2 pins and a casualty. So yeah, the heavy weapons platoon come off a bit worse from that opening salvo from the Germans. But we're now ready to start turn 1, so we'll go over to the bag and see who goes first. Right, we're almost at the end of turn 1. I just carried on because because the ranges and visibility has been reduced, the Americans couldn't really do much as the Germans were coming on the board. So I just kind of carried on. So I'll just go through, but we have got this Panther who's just arrived, one of the last models to arrive units. And it has come on an advance order, so it will be shooting at the building here and also at that sniper team down there. But let me just quickly run through how that went. So as you can see, the Germans actually came on with a very hard left manoeuvre. So we've got the Hanomag down here with the Waffen SS in, so they've just come on to the centre but are behind this dense terrain. And then the whole of this platoon here is on this left flank. So we've got all the Heer Grenadiers. We've also got the weapons platoon, which came on this flank here. And they were out of range apart from that MMG. So the Americans, a lot of them went on ambush just to see if they could get any pot shots off, and this unit managed to get a successful shot away, even though it had 2 pins. Managed to roll quite low to get them to pass their ambush order, and they did manage to get 1 pin onto that medium mortar, so that was some early action for the Americans. This team here tried to fire but failed its order, went down. Again over here, the anti-tank gun is still on ambush, but no real targets yet. And also a lot of down orders, as you can see, and this was basically a mixture of failed orders and other things, despite having the platoon commanders nearby. And these are all on ambush anyway, which basically means they can't shoot at anything because that tank they can't wound. So we'll come back for the Panther and let's see if that can do any damage. Right, so let's see how this Panther gets on. So I've put a little blue marker on here because it is going to be shooting its MMG towards the sniper team down there. The pintle mount is going to go against the building. That means it's now classed as open top. And I'm not sure that was actually a rule in version 2, but certainly is in version 3. So just one to remember. But because the bazooka team is already gone, I'm not too worried about it being shot at this stage. And then the super heavy anti-tank gun is going to go at the building. So let's do the anti-tank gun first. I'm going to need a 5 because it has moved. It does hit as well. This could be bad news. Now, these guys are already down because they've dug in, which is basically what the dug in rule gives you. Now you can go down when you're ambushed, but just means you can re-roll failed cover saves. But as they can't get cover saves against HE rounds, I haven't bothered. So, or they're saying that they could potentially save against the Pintomated, so we'll do that. We'll just put them down for now. You never know, they may survive even though they've just been hit. So unfortunately that's 2d6 hits versus targets in buildings. This is how many hits they're going to get. They're going to get 9. So let's come back and see if they can do some casualties. Right, so because they were down, those 9 hits become 5 because you halved the hits, but we only need 2s to kill here, so I don't expect these guys to survive. Let's see how we get on. No, so that team's wiped out. Also, I forgot as well, if you get 10 or more on your hits with 2d6 or 3d6 HE, that building could have gone down as well, but 9 hits means it's still intact. So that unit's wiped out, so that's first blood for the Germans. Okay, so we've got one last dice to come out of the bag, which is for the Germans, and that's going to be the Stug, so let's see where that comes on. Hold my horses, I did forget, of course, it's Hall-mounted MMG did fire at the sniper team, who are in hard cover, and they're also down and dug in. So they will be able to re-roll any failed, because they're down as well as being dug in, they do actually get to re-roll failed cover saves. So let's see how we get on, but first we've got a hit, so I've got 4 shots because it's 3 shots normally, because you halve it because it's on a vehicle, but because it's Hitler's Buzzsaw is a German special rule, so we get 1 extra dice. So hitting on, so it's 4 dice, but I'm hitting on 5 still because I moved, and just the 1 hit, and then it's going to be a 3 to yes, a 3 up because they're inexperienced. To kill does. So let's see if they can save. So basically, they are in hard cover, so that's a 4 up. They are down, which means they are getting +2, so they're going to be saving on 2s, and I can re-roll this as well. So they do save, but they have got a pin marker on them, so we've got an additional pin onto this unit as well. Okay, so let's see where the Stug comes out. Okay, so the Stug has come on and is going to try the same thing that the Panther did, so it's going to aim at the building at this MMG team, who basically have gone down again. So this has got its heavy anti-tank gun, and it's also got the MMG on the front as well. So it's going to be, we'll do the anti-tank gun first, so that's going to be a 5 up again because it moved. Not this time, and then we've got the 4 shots again from the MMG, hitting on 5s. Just the 1 hit again, and then 3 to kill, which it does, but we do get a cover save, so it's hard cover because we're in a building, and again they are down, and they are also dug in. So again, we've got a 2 up re-rollable. Oops, missed the table. Good. So it's just a pin, another pin onto these guys. Anti-tank shell whistled past the building. So that's the end of turn 1. So just a general advance on for the Germans. As you can see, the armour's come on the right flank here. There's not a lot that can hurt it at the moment, and all the infantry have piled in on the left. So let's see how turn 2 plays out, and obviously also the Americans have lost their first unit, so 2 points already scored for the Germans. So over to turn 2. Right, so the first dice out of the bag was an American one, so this platoon commander down here has called a snap to action, so just rallied himself, 1 pin on him, gave these guys a run order to try and get them out of the building. Unfortunately they failed that even with his bonus. Again, these inexperienced troops don't quite hard to order once you start pinning them down, so they're stuck in that building on a down order, but he has managed to get this, he gave these guys an advance order, because obviously they weren't pinned, so they've just swiveled the gun round frantically, seeing the Stug advancing on their position, so they're going to fire at that. Now because they've advanced, they're going to be hitting on a 6 because they're inexperienced as well. However, because it's an anti-tank gun firing at a vehicle, getting +1, so back to 5. So let's see if they can do it. They need this really. No, a 4, just a miss. Okay, the whistles past the Stug down there. Okay, so let's see what the next dice is. Right, the next dice out was a German one, so this platoon commander here has called a snap to action as well. And the Germans get a nice little rule where they can get an additional dice, so he's pulled out 3 additional dice. So he's given these guys an advance order, fire order to the MMG team, up to there, and also a fire order for the mortar team using the spotter up to there as well. So I'll just come back and do this. Let's see if these guys pass their order test first. So they're effectively down to 7 because they're 8 because they're regular troops, but obviously giving the bonus back up to 10. So let's see if they pass that first. They do, so they're going to lose that pin, so they will be able to fire. So I'll come back and do all that shooting. Right, so this unit's advanced up here. They will be shooting as well at the infantry, but I'm just going to start off with this. I know you're all supposed to do it in order, but I'll just start with this down here. Just easier, isn't it? So the mortar's going to try first, so it's going to need a 6. It hits. Okay, that's a hit. So let me just come back and work out the how that works. Oh, by the way, these did go down as well. So let's see how that goes. Well, good shooting from the Germans there. Right, I rarely get mortar hits on the first go, but there you go. So a little marker there just so it's been hit. So the first thing is, does it explode on the right floor? So the first one we do, on a roll of 4, 5 or 6, it will explode on the top floor. 1, 2, 3, it will go through and down into the bottom floor, so they'll be safe. Let's see what, so I need a 4, 5 or 6 to hit. So it does explode on that top floor. I think a medium mortar is D6 hits. So let's do D6. Obviously they have gone down, so we're halving this. Okay, it's just 1 hit. And again, we are looking at a, because it's got a +2 pen value, so we are looking at a 2 to kill. So that is kill, but and there's no cover save for that because they are in direct fire. It's HE at them, so that is 1 casualty onto them. And I think as well it's D2 pins. So they're down to one guy left on the gun, and also D2 pins. So just 1 pin, so with a pin on them as well. And obviously that's zeroed in. Right, we'll come back and do the machine gun next. Okay, so this MMG team are firing up at the windows. So 6 shots hitting on 4s because they haven't moved. So that is 3 hits, and again 3s to kill. Just the 1. Okay, so that's another pin though. They are obviously in hard cover, so it's going to be 4 up, and also they are down. So it's a 2 up, and it's re-rollable because they are obviously dug in as well. So it's a 2 up re-rollable, which they make anyway. So that is another pin on them. So they're getting heavily pinned. There's only 1 guy left, and then we'll do the shooting from this unit next. This squad in the trees is firing up at the window as well. They're all in range apart from the SMG. So we've got the 2 assault rifles. So they're hitting on 4s because they are assault. So that is 2 hits so far. Then we've got 5 shots from the LMG because it is 4, but it's also got +1 for the Hitler's Buzzsaw. These hitting on 5s because they moved. That's not bad, there's another 3. And then we've got 5 shots from the rifles, again hitting on 5s. Wow, that's a lot of hits. Okay, so let's see if we can wound on 3s. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds. Let's see if the American player can save. So again, it's 2 up re-rollables. Saved. And saved. So, but another pin. So that heavy cover and being dug in is really helping to keep them alive, but there's now 1 guy left on the gun, severely pinned down, and a mortar zeroed in. Not great news for that unit there, but a decent turn for the Germans there with that snap to action. Right, over to the next dice. Okay, so that's another German dice, another snap to action. So this platoon commander ordered these 2 to run. And he's running himself as well, so they've just swept up this side here. So a lot of German dice come out now, and that's, I think I quite like this about the new game. There are, snap to action, you've got more commanders on the field. Although there's lots of dice, it's moving along nice and at a good pace, the game is. So, like I say, so this advance is moving up here, so back to the bag. Right, so that was American dice at the bag. So this platoon commander here, called a snap to action, rallied off his own pin marker. The bazooka team are just loitering here. Obviously we've got some tanks coming around, so they again rallied just to take off their pin. But this sniper team is doing nothing over here. It's got no targets. Managed to roll a double one, so snake eyes. So although it had 2 pins, it's removed both pins and has run over this way. So just trying to get a little bit more to where all the action is. So yeah, back to the dice bag. Okay, so the next dice was American. So this, the first of the infantry squads has come on the board and just moved up behind this dense terrain here. Just keeping out of line of sight at the moment. And then the next dice out was the another American, so brought the Hellcat, the Wolverine on. Now, although it's an anti-tank gun primarily, it can shoot HE rounds, and these are nice juicy targets out in the open. It's also got a heavy machine gun. So we're going to have a go at shooting at that front squad there. You are in range, so let's do that. So we'll do the HE round first. So again, because it's moved, these are by the way, these are regular as well. So hitting on a 5. Yes, it does hit. So let's go and work out the how many troops it hits. Right, so it's a 2-inch marker, and it can hit basically 4 of those guys in that unit there. It is a +2 pen, so these are killing on 2s. So these are regulars, so it's 4 to kill. So +2s, 2s. Okay, disappointingly only 3, so 3 casualties there. It's also D2 pins. Just the 1, so 1 pin. And there's 3 casualties, so we'll take it off 3 riflemen. 1, 2, 3, and then we've got the HMG, which is going to be 3 shots hitting on 5s as well. No, so it's just those 3 casualties. Okay, but at least the Americans are now in the game. They're getting some casualties on the Germans and checking this advance to the right here. So over to the back to the bag. Right, so that was an American dice. So the company commander has come onto the field at run. Obviously, lots going on over this side of the board now, I think in terms of infantry, so I want to try and get my commander in early, just so I can start to influence some of these pinned units. So we'll go back to the bag. Right, so next dice was German, so this Stug is going to shoot back at the anti-tank gun, because that's the main thing that's keeping potential threat over this side, and also with its medium machine gun as well. So we'll do the HE shot first, so it's going to be a 4. It does hit. I've done the template already, so it does cover all 3 of the crew. So it's a +2 modifier, so again, just needing 2s to kill. So it's just 2, so, and they do get their cover save, because they're out in the open. So it's heavy cover, so they're getting 4-ups. No, so that is 2 casualties and D2 pins. Just the 1 pin. So we'll put that on there, and they've got the 2 casualties, and then we've got the medium machine gun. So that's going to be 4 shots with Hitler's buzzsaw, again hitting on 4s. Nothing, no. Okay, so the that crew does survive, but it needs to take a morale check though, I think, because it's had more than 50% casualties. I'll just double check that, but I'll come back. Yeah, so a morale check for this unit here. So they're inexperienced, so they're 8, -1 for the pin markers down to 7, but +2 for the platoon commander. So 9, so need to roll 9 or less. That's an 8, that's fine, so they do pass. I did forget as well, this unit does also need to take a morale check because it lost half its models in this attack over here. So let me just come back and do that as well. Okay, so this unit is heavily pinned, so 4 pin markers, so it's down to 4 morale, but this is why I brought this guy on. So that gives him +4 back because he's a company commander. So they're basically back to 8, so 8 or less. They do pass, so although they're heavily pinned, they are going to hold their ground. Okay, so let's get back to the bag, see what this next dice is. Right, so the next dice was Americans. The M8 Greyhounds come on. It's got a light AT gun and the HMG. So it's going to be shooting again at that unit that's already taken some casualties. So again, it's going to be hitting on 5s for the AT gun. Nope. And then we've got 3 shots from the heavy machine gun again, hitting on 5s. No, so nothing else onto those at this time. Okay, so back to the dice bag. Okay, so that's another American dice. And again, by the way, I am rolling the, when you're in reserve, you have to roll your orders to actually come on the table. There's normally a -1 penalty, but the Americans get a nice roll where they can ignore that. So these guys are making their rolls to come on. So these come on advance order. And again, they're going to shoot up at that unit there. They are in range. The BARs are just in range at 18. So we'll put this down here. So we've got 4 shots from the BARs, hitting on 5s because they're assault weapons. And again, these are inexperienced troops, so hitting on 5s. So that's 1 hit so far. And then we've got 9 shots from the rifles because, again, they get a special rule for every 3 riflemen, you get an extra dice for when you're shooting. So there's 7, so that gives me an extra 2 dice, so 9 shots, hitting on 6s though because they've moved. But I do get 2 other hits, that's 3 hits. And then in terms of kills, it's going to be 4s because they're regular troops. It's just the 1, and because they're shooting across that fence line, they are getting light cover, so the Germans will get a 5-up save, which they do make, but they do get 1 pin, so there's 1 pin on that unit, but no casualties. Okay, so back to the dice bag. Right, so that was a German dice, so the Panther has just swiveled around here. It must have a sixth sense that might be a bazooka around there, and just headed across the, crunching across the fencing here at the back of the housing. Okay, so back to the dice bag. Right, so that was a German dice again, so the Hanomag has now crashed through the trees, heading up towards the centre of St.Vith with its passengers, the Waffen SS. So it's advance order, so it can shoot, so it's going to have a go at the that gun crew there, with that 1 remaining trooper. So we're getting 4 dice, 4 shots, because it's halved to 3, and then +1 for hit those buzzsaw, hitting on 5s because they've moved. Wow, 3 hits. This could be interesting. So again, 3s to wound, just the 1 wound, and they are in heavy cover again. So we're going to be getting a 4-up save. They're not down or anything, so just a 4-up needed. Can they survive? No. So they're gone, so they're destroyed. So that's another 2 points for the Germans, and quite a critical time really, because that's a threat to these panzers, etc. So yeah, that's a good bit of luck for the Germans. So back to the dice bag. Okay, so that's the last of the dice that came out. So the German dice came out, so the Waffen SS have just gone down. It made you basically stay in the Hanomag. Then there were 4 American dice, so 1 unit ran on here, infantry unit up to the hard cover there. I was just trying to give a bit of support on this side. This unit ran on here. Again, just trying to get some support here. And then the final platoon commander came on here, so he just positioned himself to give morale support here. And then this mortar team tried a fire order, thinking, well, the company commanders there should be no problem passing my order test. But they've rolled a double 1 anyway, so that's snake eyes. So they actually lost both of their pin markers. And they're now going to shoot at the Hanomag, so just need to grab a dice. So it will be a 6, they are in range, they're just beyond their minimum range, so they should be okay. It's a bit of a lucky shot if we can get it, we'll see how we get on. Oh, I thought I saw it then. Okay, so missed, but they are obviously trying to range in. So that's the end of turn 2. So where are we? So the Germans are really pushing hard this flank here, but now there's lots of Americans arrived. We've got some armour support as well, so if they want to get off the board, they're going to have to get through all of these units here. This flank is pretty much beaten up by the Panzers and the Stug, etc. And we've got some Waffen SS steaming through the middle, but again, we've got some American reinforcements now plugging the holes. So let's see how we go on in turn 3. Okay, so the start of turn 3, it was a German dice, so plenty of options, but decided to be greedy and try and get a few shots off early. So this Panther gave itself a fire order, because you can see across to the Wolverine, and also machine guns can get across to that mortar team. And because it's a command vehicle, it did a snap to action and gave the Hanomag an advance order. Having measured the fire order, unfortunately the tank destroyer is just out of range. So a bit gutted about that. But the 2 HMGs, medium machine guns, 1 in the hull and 1 the pintle-mounted one, have got range to the mortar team. So although I'm going to make it open-topped, I think it should be okay for this turn. So I'll just come back and do that shooting. Right, so I might as well do these shots together. So it's going to be 8 shots in total for the 2 medium machine guns. So hitting on 4s because it's not moved. Oh, that's a pathetic roll. Only 3 hits. And then we've got 3s to wound because again they're inexperienced. But all wounded. Now they are in light cover, so they're getting a 5-up, but they're also still dug in. So they get +2 onto that roll because it counts as down. So they're going to be saving on 3+. Oh, so here's a casualty, and they do take a pin as well. Okay, could have been worse. Okay, so let's get back to the dice bag. Sorry, I actually forgot the Hanomags because it had been given that advance order, so it's just moved up on advance over the wall. So we'll be taking some shots at that mortar team as well. So I'll just do them here. So it's going to be hitting on 5s because they moved. 4 shots. No, nothing there. Okay, so back to the bag for the next dice. Right, so that was an American dice. So the company commander did his snap to action. So basically just tried to get some troop movement around here to try and get some of these guys out of trouble. So the mortar team has come around here on a run. Managed to get the MMG team out of this building on a run order as well. Did pass its test, so it's lost 1 pin, but still got 3 pins. So still not in great shape. And then this unit here has moved up on advance, and then this unit's been given a fire order. So company commander really trying to manipulate the bag there. So we'll come back and do these shooting, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so we'll start with the fire order here for the Wolverine. It's got its heavy AT gun and its HMG. Heavy machine gun's going to shoot again at that unit there that's just gone down because it's been declared fire. So it's going to need a 4 to hit with the heavy AT gun. See if we can get a hit on this one. No, I think it just spin off there. Okay, and also with the heavy machine gun, 3 shots hitting on 4s as well. So there's 2 hits there, and then 2 wounds on 4s. No, 3s because heavy machine gun's got plus 1 pin. So that is 2 wounds. They are in light cover because of the fencing, and they're down. So it's going to be on 5, become 3. So 2 saves of 3 required. So 1 casualty, and they've also got a pin. Okay, so then we'll come back for this unit here. So once again, we've got the 2 BARs. That's 4 dice. They're going to be hitting on 4s because they've got the assault roll, and then we've got again the 9 rifle shots because of the 7 guys plus the 2 additional. So let's do the BARs first. So 4 shots hitting on 4s. That is 3 hits. Sorry, 5s. It's 5s, isn't it? Sorry, they've still got those because they are inexperienced. And then these are on 6s. Just the 1. So that's 4 hits. And then we've got wounded on 4s. 2 wounds. And again, saving on 3s. I'll have to go for some dice and come back to do that. There we go. So 2 saves of 3 plus. Yes. Okay, but they do get another pin. So that's going to be a 4th pin marker. So back to the dice bag. Okay, that was another American dice and another snap to action. So the platoon commander down here has called a snap, so he's just gone down, and he's ordered this unit here to fire again at that unit there, and again for the Greyhound to do the same. So we'll start with the Greyhound. So he's got a light AT gun, so we're going to need a 4 plus to hit. Let's see how we get on with this one. That does hit. So I'll just check how many. It's a 1-inch template, so let me just check how many of the troops are covered with that, and we'll come back. Okay, because of my silly placement of these, I could get 3 on that 1-inch template, so it's going to be 3 to kill or wound, because it's a plus 1 pen. So that's all, so all 3. They are going to get their cover saves though, so again they're getting their 3 up because they're down, and with the fencing. That is 1 casualty, and it is also D2 pins. That is actually 2 more pins, so I need to add them on. But let me just do the heavy machine gun shots as well. So another one's down. And then we've got the heavy machine gun shots. This is going to be again 3 shots, hitting on 4s. Wow, 3 hits. And again, wounding on 3s again. 3 wounds, it's 3s up. Oh, dearie me, that is absolutely brutal. So 3 gone, so they're going to be another 2 pins, and they'll be taking a morale check. So I'll just come back and do that. Right, so these are currently morale 5, because they've got 6 there, normally morale 9, minus 6 is 3, just within 6 of the platoon commander, so that makes it 5. So can they hold? No, they can't. So these are gone, so that's the first German unit gone. Okay, so let's get back to the bag. Right, so yet another American dice and another snap to action. So this platoon commander snapped and went down. He also managed to get this unit here to run. They passed their order, so they just run down here, lost a pin marker. And they've got the bazooka team to just switch positions over in advance. So they have got a side shot against the Hanamag. It's going to be a difficult one because they are inexperienced. But we'll just come back to see if they can do something. Right, so this bazooka team's going to need a 6. Let's see how we get on. This could be interesting. It did hit! Oh my gosh, right, okay. So give that man a cigar, as they say. Right, let's work out what happens to the Hanamag. This could be bad. Right, so yeah, so the Hanamag is a 7+ armoured carrier. So it's been hit in the side by the bazooka. So that gives it a +6 to its pen. So it's going to wound whatever. It's going to penetrate, sorry, whatever. So we're just going to see how much it does. So here we go for the D6. So that is 5. So that is that's going to be full damage. And it's going to have the extra dice, isn't it? 'Cause that's massive damage, basically. So I've got to roll 2d6 on the damage table. So it's a 3 and a 1. Okay, so it didn't actually do anything. So it's actually on fire, and the crew is stunned. It's not quite what I was looking for, but there you go. But that does mean that the Waffen-SS do have to now dismount because that vehicle is on fire. Okay, so we'll just sort all that out. Right, so just checking the rules again. So as you can see, nice plume of fire coming out. So it does actually have to check for morale. That's what it does on fire to see if it puts it out. So it got 1 pin for being hit, 1 additional pin for the fire, and 1 additional pin for the crew being stunned. And then rolling morale, so it's a 9 down to a 6, but because it's within 12 of the command tank, it's back to a 7. So let's see what's happened. That is a 6. So yes, so it does stay on the board. It is on fire, but that puts that out. And then it goes into a down order, and then basically I will be then dismounting the Waffen-SS. Right, that's a lot of rules, but let's do that next. Right, so the Waffen-SS have disembarked and gone down as the orders, as the rules state. So that's the end of that little sequence. I think the bazooka team can be a little bit disappointed after getting that 6 to hit and only getting stunned and fire. However, that Hanomag is severely pinned now, and at least the Waffen-SS are down and can't do anything in this turn. Okay, so let's get back to the dice bag. Okay, so that's another German dice at the bag. So this platoon commander called a snap to action, advanced this troop up here and himself, and then this unit was given a run order from over here just to try and get a bit more cover from all this action over this side. Okay, so these guys can shoot, so we'll just come back and do that. Okay, so these guys are shooting across at that squad there. So we've got the two assault rifles, so they're going to be hitting on 4s because they got the assault rule. That is 4 hits. That's a good start. Then we've got the LMG, which has got 5 shots because they've hit this buzzsaw, hitting on 5s. That's another 2 shots. That puts you up to 6. And then we've got 5 rifle shots on 5s as well. Another 2, so that is 8 hits. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wounded on 3s. So that's disappointing again. So that's only 3 hits, 3 wounds, sorry. They are getting light cover for the shooting across the fence. So that is going to be 5 ups. No, so that is 3 casualties and a pin marker on those. Right. Okay, so next dice out was a American dice. So this platoon commander did a snap to action. He's gone down himself, but he's given the sniper here a fire order, and the sniper's got a bead across that unit that was advancing here. So he is in range, so it's going to be a 3 to hit because he's regular morale, so he's normally a 4+, but yet +1 to hit for using the sniper rule. So he's a 3+. Which you just hit. There's no cover saves for this, and it goes straight to damage. So they're regulars, that's 4, but again you get a +1 to wound on these, so we do 3 again, and that does kill. You can select the NCO, which I'm going to do, but it doesn't really matter because the Germans get a rule where they can swap out the NCO for a casualty. So I'm just going to lose one of the riflemen down there, and they've got a pin as well. Okay, so back to the bag. Actually, I misread that. You still have to roll a dice. So on a roll of a 1, the NCO will be killed. So it's 2, need 2 or more for this to work. And it does anyway, so that's fine. Okay, so remember that for next time. Right, back to the bag. So that was a German dice, and this platoon commander did a snap to action. So these were all over here. So basically the spotters ran forward, the MMG team have ran forward, and the platoon commander himself was just advanced up. So again, just trying to get some units closer to the action. Just leaving the mortar back here for next time. Okay, so back to the bag. Okay, so that's American dice there. So this unit that was just behind the dense terrain here has just moved forward into it on advance order. It's going to be shooting across at this fresh unit here. So yeah, we've got 2 BARs and the SMG from the NCOs in range as well. So that's 6 shots hitting on 5s, because again they're still inexperienced. But that is 3 hits, so it's a good start. And then we've got the 9 rifles, so 7 in the squad plus the 2 extras for the rule, special rule, on 6s. Pretty good. That's another 3, so that's 6 in total. And again, these are 4 up for wounding. Just the 2. So I'll just come back and do the saves for the cover. Okay, so 2 5-up saves. Make 1, fail 1, so there's 1 casualty down here. And they are also got a pin mark on them. Okay, so almost done for turn 3, back to the bag. And that was the last American dice, so this unit that was kind of here isn't getting much there. So just basically a run order, and they've come round this side here. So hopefully they can challenge these Waffen SS on the next turn. So we've got 1 more dice to go, I think, for the Germans. Let's come back and have a look at that. Yes, so that was the last German move. So the Stug that was here just did a run order and just kind of again across the fences over to this side. So the Panzers, the tanks, just kind of split in their attack here against the Americans. Okay, so that's the end of turn 3. So the Americans get a chance to score some points now. So let me just top those up and I'll come back and confirm what those are. Right, so in terms of where we are in the halfway stage, points-wise then, so the Americans score 15 points this turn. Basically got 15 units left on the table. We've got these guys down here. And we've got, they're all amassing on this side of the board here in a very strong defensive line. So they're getting 15 points. The Germans have scored 4 points because they've destroyed 2 units so far. So it's 15-4, but long way to go yet. Still got at least 3 turns to go. The Germans have still got all their armour. They're advancing into the centre now of St.Vith. So I have to see how the Americans can hold out. Okay, so let's move over to turn 4. Right, so first dice out was a German dice. So these Waffen SS have been sitting in a armoured carrier that's just been bazookaed, so they decided now is the time to get into the action. I was umming and ahhing about whether they should charge into this unit here, but to be frank, they've got a lot of firepower. So they're going to give it a go with their shooting. So these have gone down. So let's see how we get on. So a lot of shots coming in. We've got 4 assault rifles, LMG, and then 4 rifles. So we've got a load of shots. I'll try and get them all in one hand if I can. And then we'll see if we can roll all these in the tray. So these are going to be 4-ups. So it's not bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 hits. Wow, that was brutal. Okay, so then we're on 3s to wound, potentially kill, and get them in my hand. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wounds. So that's going to be 9 saves of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because they've got light cover for the fencing and they've gone down, so that's going to be 3s. Oh, that's not a good roll at all. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 casualties. So they will be testing their morale and also they get a pin. So I'll just come back and do that. Okay, so I have been forgetting that these are fanatics, which basically means you ignore pin markers when making morale checks. If you've at least got 2 men in your unit, so I have forgot that the whole game so far. So I won't this time, so they're going to ignore that pin marker, but also they are within 12 of the company commander. So basically they've got a morale of 11 at the moment, so it should be okay with this, unless I foobar, which I don't. So they don't run, but they are severely hampered now, obviously down to 5 men. Okay, so back to the bag. Okay, so it's an American dice, and the company commander snapped to action, pulled out 4 dice. I mean, I think these company commanders can be really very powerful, particularly as inexperienced troops. So he's gone down himself, but he's given a fire order to these, a fire order to the Wolverine, a fire order to the Greyhound, and also a fire order to this unit here. We're in 12 of him. So I feel like there's a lot of firepower going to come against this squad now. They're going to go down, but obviously it doesn't help them much, but they need to preserve themselves as much as possible at the moment. So I'll just come back and do those in order. Right, so we'll start with the Wolverine. So it's got it's the AT gun there, plus the heavy machine gun. So we'll do the AT first, needing a 4. Hits. I did do the template earlier, so it can get 5 guys under that. Because they've gone down, that's going to be 3. So it's going to be wounding / killing on 2s because it's +2 modifier. So that is 2, and they've got a cover save of 5, plus they're down 3s. Cover saves of 3s. They do save both. It's D2 pins. So that is 2 pins onto that unit there. And then we've got the heavy machine gun, 3 shots on 4s as well. Just the 1, and then a 3 because it's -1 or +1 pen, sorry. So that does. Again, it's going to be a 3 up. No, so that is a casualty. So we'll take one of the riflemen off. Okay, then we'll come back and do the Greyhound next. Okay, similar for the Greyhound then, so we need a 4 to hit with the light AT gun. That does hit, and again that covers 4 guys, so we're going to halve that to 2 because of the down order. It's a +1 pen, so that's going to be 3s. That's 2 kills, well, I've got the saves, cover saves, so 3s, which they make. But again, another D2 pins, another 2 pins. So up to 5 now. And you've got the heavy machine gun again. 3 shots hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s, saving on 3s. No, another 2 casualties. This unit's looking a bit ropey now. Okay, so then we've got this unit here is going to fire. Come back for that. Alright, so we've got a lot of shots here. We've got the SMG, 2 BARs, all the rifles. So all these are hitting on a 5 because they are inexperienced. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. 7, yeah. And then we've got 4s to wound. So that is 4 wounds. So that's 4 saves of 3+ again. No, 2 casualties. They're going to be. Who do we take off? So we're going to take off this guy, and then we've got one of the assault rifles, and that's another pin onto that unit as well. And then we've still got this unit to go, so we'll come back for that, guys. So here we go. So it's almost the same, just the SMG sergeant can't see past the building, so it's going to be all these dice hitting on 5s. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits there, and again saving. Wounding on 4s. So 2 saves of 3 up. Another casualty, so that's going to be that guy. And another pin. Right, brutal stuff there. Okay, so I'll come back. They need to do their morale checks, and we just come back and do that. Right, so this works out. They've got morale of 9, and they've got 7 pin markers. That brings them down to 2, and they've got the platoon commander here, so it brings them back to 4. Nope, they're gone. So these are going to run off the board. Okay, so that's another German unit down. So some brutal, even though these are all inexperienced troops, some brutal firepower coming from this defensive line wipes out another unit. So yeah, the Germans are struggling on this flank. Okay, so let's get back to the bag. Right, so that was German dice. So this platoon commander needs to earn his corn now. So he's pulled out a snap to action, a fire order for the spotter, for the mortar, onto that unit there. Also the MMG team are targeting them as well. And this is giving this unit an advance order, because remember the Germans get the extra dice. So they've just got an advance order to try and go through here. And if you look down, you can see through there. So and I can just see that mortar team. So yeah, so we'll go through this in order. I'll do the fire orders first, and then we'll come back for that. Okay, so this is for the mortar. So I'm just going to need a 6. He says confidently, no. Okay, misses, but that's the first go, so it's just targeting them. Give me a 5 for next turn. And then we've got the MMG team, so that's 6 dice hitting on 4s because they're just firing. That's not bad. Okay, that's 4 hits, and again 3s to wounds. Just the 2, not great. And then they're in light cover, so these are going to be saving on 5s. 1 casualty. So, but they are pinned. and they're getting 1 casualty. Okay, I'll come now and do this one. Okay, so these are firing through. Now they can see 2 of the models there, so they're not getting any cover. So this could be good. So we've got 2 assault rifles hitting on 4s. That is 2 hits there. Then we've got the LMG hitting on 5s. Another hit there, and then we've got 4 rifles hitting on 5s. 2, so that is a total of 5 hits, and that's going to be 3s to wound. That's 3 casualties, so they are gone. That unit is gone. So let me just sort that and come back. So this is just the mortar team. I could have gone down, but yeah, anyway, I didn't, so I don't want to go back on myself now. So yeah, that's mortar team's gone, so we'll go back to the bag. Right, so the next dice out was German. So just like a scene out of Saving Private Ryan, this big panther has crushed over this wall. So you remember it was around here, it's just come round. And yeah, it's opening fire at point blank range against the bazooka team and also against the sniper team. So yeah, they're in trouble. You can imagine the sound of the tracks crunching through the wall into the middle of the street here. So this has got a 3-inch template which actually covers both units. So they've both decided to go down just to see if they can at least try and survive some of this. And then the hull mounted MMG is going into the sniper team, and the pintle mounted one is going into the sniper team. So let's do the see if they can hit first. So they have moves, that's a 5, but they are in point blank range, that's +2. So there's going to be 3s to hit with the super heavy anti-tank HE round here. So I need a 3. There it is, so they've hit. They have gone down, so it's going to halve the hits. So it's going to be 1 hit on each unit. So we'll do this one first. It's going to need a 2. Yep, so they take one of those is killed. I know they do get a cover save for being down, and then 1 on this one here. Yeah, so they both get it's +7, so they're going to need a cover save of 5 for this guy. No, and a 5 for these guys. No. Okay, so that is 2 casualties. It's also D3 pins on both. So we'll do the pins on this one. That is 3 pins onto them and onto these guys. Just the 1 pin onto these. Okay, and then we'll do the MMGs. So we've got 4 shots hitting on 3s as well, so onto here. So that is 3 hits and then 3s to 2 wounds and 2 saves of 5 up required, or they're gone. No, so they are dead. So that's the bazooka team wiped out, and then we go for the sniper team. So that is 3 hits as well, and then we've got 3s. That's 3 wounds and 5 up needed. No, so they're dead as well. So that panther has literally wiped out the bazooka team and the sniper team. Horrific. I can imagine the panic on the Americans' faces that poked its head around the corner. By the way, it's because it's a command vehicle as well, it also gave these guys an order to fire, so we'll come back and do that next. Okay, so that Hanomag did pass its order test, so it lost 1 pin. So it's firing its medium machine gun down here at this unit here that's already been shot at. So 4 shots, because they're pinned it's -1, so that's going to be hitting on 5s. So that is 1 hit, and then on a 3 there's wound, and they get a 3 up save because they're behind the fence and down. They do, but they do get 1 more pin onto that unit. Okay, so we'll go back to the bag. Okay, so a few dice came out which there wasn't much going on, so I'm just going to give you a summary. So a German dice came out, so that platoon commander ran across to there, just to try and catch up with his comrades. In the centre here of St.Vith, next dice out was American, so this platoon commander pulled a snap to action, gave himself a run order, tried to order the machine gun team to run as well. Unfortunately, even though they're ignoring the pin because they are fanatics, and even though they were next to the platoon commander, they rolled an 11, so unfortunately they went down because they were 10 or less. And the next dice out, unfortunately, was then the Stug, which has now copied the Panther, swung round over the wall, point blank range. This could be bad. So it's going to fire its main weapon and its machine gun at that unit there. Okay, so we'll just come back for that. Okay, so again, it's going to be a 3 to hit because it's hitting on 5s because it's moved, but point blank range +2 gives it back to a 3. So can it hit with the main gun? No, it missed. How can it miss from there? Ridiculous. Okay, that missed. Okay, so it's going to be light on its medium machine gun. Pathetic shooting there from the Germans. So 3s to hit. Just the one. Okay, obviously the fog has set in, or the smoke of battle from the Panther shot has obscured the vision slits. So just the one hit, and can they wound? At least they can wound. Now, I made a mistake here earlier. So because they are down, but they're in, because it's in point blank range, you don't get your cover save. So that actually is a kill. So one of these, so it's down to 1, and also. They also get a pin, extra pin. Okay, so I think that covers that off. Okay, so not as successful as the Panther, but still, that unit there is still in a bit of trouble. So we're back to the bag, only a few dice to go. Right, so the last dice out were all American, so this platoon commander just called a snap. He's just gone down himself. We ordered these guys to run, because as you can see, the Germans are starting to move that way, so they've managed to pass their order, lose their pin marker, and ran across that way. And the last dice was this other platoon commander, his buddy over here, so he just made an advance order across to here. Couldn't cross, it wasn't enough distance to cross the wall, so yeah, it's going to be scary times next turn potentially. Right, so that's the end of turn 4, so it's still in the balance, I think, in terms of points. Obviously another couple of units down for the Americans, which does give the Germans up to 10, I think now, so they're catching up, and obviously looks like they're going to control the centre of this town as well. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. 2 turns to go, plus potentially 1 more. So let's head over to turn 5, see how they get on. Sorry, before I go to turn 5, I forgot these do need to take a morale check because they lost 50% or half their models because they had 2. They're ignoring the pin markers because they're fanatics. So let's just see. So they're going to be needing an 8 because they are inexperienced. 6, that's fine. So they're going to stay where they are. Okay, so let's go over to turn 5. Right, so at the start of turn 5, and the tide might be turning here because the Germans pulled out the first dice again. These are all very crucial now. So the Panther did an advance move, and just come across and swung round, and also did a snap and just ordered the Hanomag to fire. Again, get that unit there. It passed its order test, so it's fine. So it lost another pin, so it's slowly unpinning itself from that bazooka round. Oh, what a different game this could have been, maybe. And then the Panther is going to shoot across at the Wolverine, and then it's going to put its MMG shots also into this unit here. It's not going to use its pintle mounted one now because it is going to be, does want to be open topped just in case it does miss. Wants to stay as armoured as possible. Okay, so we'll come back and do the shooting. Right, we'll start with the Hanomag. It's going to fire at the unit here who have gone down. Now, because they've got a pin, they're at 5. I think I forgot this on the last turn, but these are also in point blank range. They are within 6 inches, so actually it should have been 3s to hit. But anyway, got it now. So 3s to hit, 4 shots. 2 hits there, and 2 3s to wound. That is 2 wounds and another pin. Okay, they are down. So that means they're getting a 3-up save again from those 2 wounds. Oh, and let me just check whether you can claim cover from small arms or whether it's just HE at point blank. Let me just double check. No, just having a quick read through the rules again. Note it's they just don't get the extra cover for being down. So they're still going to get the cover for the fence there. So they're still getting a 5-up because they're in soft cover. So give them 2 5-ups. No, so that is 2 casualties onto them. So we'll take these 2 riflemen. Also done I've already done the pin. Okay, so then we'll do the Panther shooting at the Wolverine here, and then we'll do its 4 shots into that unit first. Right, it's the same procedure. So it moves, so it's hitting on 5s, but it is in point blank. So back to 3s, 4 shots. Again, 2 hits, and then 2 3s needed. Not 1 actually. Okay, but that is another pin, so I'll put another pin marker on them, and then we'll come up into the Wolverine. Right, so it's going to need a 5 to hit the Wolverine. Now, I think I made a mistake earlier. I think I gave the AT gun a +1 to hit because it's an anti-tank against a vehicle, but that's only if it's given a fire order. So obviously this is advanced, so it won't get that extra +1 to hit. So it is going to be a 5 to hit onto that. This could be interesting. No, just shy. Okay, so it perhaps just glances off the side or just whistles over the heads of the guys there, but certainly got their attention. Okay, so that's the end of that go, so we'll go back to the bag. Right, so that was an American dice out the bag. So this company commander has snapped to action. He's just moved himself, advanced through that unit there. He's put these 2 units on ambush, because clearly the Germans are going to appear at some point to try and get off the board. And that's what they're trying to do. He's given this the Greyhound a fire order to shoot at the MMG team. They haven't gone down because they are getting hard cover from the building because it's slightly obscured, as you can see. And again, if they go down, it means they're doing nothing this turn. But the big move was this the Wolverine. Give him a fire order. Now, it is still presenting its side armour to this Panther, but to be honest with you, I think the Panther's strong enough to take it out whatever. And this Wolverine needs to do something. And also, giving it the fire order gives it that +1 to hit. So, it's a bit of a gamble, but need to try and take out that Panther if possible, or at least try and do something to it. Okay, so we'll do that shot first and see how they get on. Right, so here we are. So it's going to need a 3 to hit because it's going to be normally a 4, but obviously with the fire order and the additional +1, it's going to be a 3 to hit. So this is very crucial. Let's see what it can do. Fingers crossed for the Yanks. It hits. Right, so in terms of damage-wise, a heavy AT gun, it is +6 pen. Now, Panthers get a reinforced armour on their front, so it is a 10+ armour. So a 4 would be superficial damage. A 5 or 6 will be full damage. Can't do massive damage, but let's see what we've got. So 4, 5 or 6 really is what we're looking for. It's only a 3. No. Okay, so it's pinged off the armour. Oh, that's tragic. It does get a pin marker on it though, but yeah, that's not what we wanted. That's a shame. Right, okay, so also it's got the heavy machine gun, which was going to fire at the Waffen SS. So we'll just come back and do that. Okay, so we've got 3 shots from the heavy machine gun. Hitting on 4s, just the 1 hit, and wounding on a 4 because it's a +1 pen against veterans. No, nothing, but they do get a pin marker on them. Okay, so back to the bag. Actually, before I go back to the getting to the dice, I forgot this this M8 has got a fire order, so it's shooting at the MMG team over there. So it's going to need a 4 to hit with its light AT gun. No, and 3 heavy machine gun shots, again hitting on 4s. That is 3 hits, and it's going to be 3s to wound, because +1 to pen. That is 3 wounds. Now they are getting heavy cover from the building, so that is going to be 3 4-ups. No, so that is 2 casualties onto that medium machine gun team, so they are going to get a pin marker, and also they will be testing their morale, so let me just do that. Right, so due to the proximity of the platoon commander, they have their morale 10 at the moment, so we'll just roll this now. Yeah, they're fine. Okay, so they're going to stay. Okay, so we'll definitely go back to the bag for the next dice now. Okay, so the next dice was German, so this platoon commander's done a snap, so he's just going to run over that way. He's ordered the spotter to fire against the unit here again, and then he's also ordered this slightly mauled medium machine gun team to fire at these guys as well. Okay, so we'll just quickly do the mortar. So as you can see, it needs a 5 because it's the second time it's shooting. Let's see if we get the 5 to 0 in. It's close, so it's going to be a 4 now for the next turn. These guys don't move. Okay, so then we'll come back and do the medium machine gun. Right, in terms of shooting, so they have got a pin marker, so a 4 becomes a 5, and they are down to 1 man in the team, so that becomes another -1. So it's going to be 6s. So let's see how we get on. 6 dice though, which is nice. There we go, there was 1 there, so just 1 hit for them. And again, it's going to be a 3 to wound. No, but do get a pin marker on them. So not particularly great over this flank here. So, but anyway, go back to the bag. So next dice is the Americans. So the platoon commander that was here called a snap to action. He's just advanced over the wall to here. And then he managed to get a successful order off to this MMG team to run. They managed to pass their order test, so lost a pin and just made it to the wall. Obviously they can't get over at this stage, but just trying to make sure they give themselves as much chance to get out of the way of that Stug before it gets any closer, but we'll see. So back to the bag. Well, I think I spoke too soon. Unfortunately, the German dice, so the Stug is now going to shoot at that unit there. with all its weapons. So we're going to get a 4 for the AT gun. It does hit, so it just needs a 2. These guys are wiped out. And there it is. So that team's gone. The MMG was also going that way, so those shots are now wasted. But another American unit down. Okay, back to the bag. Okay, so a couple of things going on. So we had an American dice out the bag. So this, I presume, commander just hopped over the wall and ran around to here. Then it was a German dice. So the Waffen SS are now going to do a fire order against this unit down here. They were pinned, but they managed to pass their order test. There's a lot of shots coming in, guys, all hitting on 4s. So we'll see how we get on. We need one more as well, just drop one on the floor. Yep, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 hits. Oh dear, this could be bad. Okay, so we've got 12 hits, so again it's going to be 3s to wound. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wounds. There's been 9 saves of 3 up because of the down order. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. And the fence. So that is, it's cocked. There's 1, 2, 3 casualties. So that unit is actually wiped out. So another unit down for the Americans, unfortunately. So it's, this battle seems to be swinging in one direction at the moment. Okay, so let's go back to the bag. Right, so the next dice was a German. So this platoon commander just called a snap, just advanced himself up to the house. And really didn't know what to do with these guys, because as soon as they come out this tunnel here, there's a ton of stuff here on ambush. So just decided to just play it cool and just put them on ambush themselves, just in case any Americans show their faces. And we've got all this armour coming across the table, so hoping that that will do something. I mean, these are trying to get off the board, but you know, there's no good if they're all dead, is it? So yeah, we'll see how we go on, because it is turn 5, it's late in the game, but yeah, best to keep them alive, I think, at the moment. So let's go over to the bag, couple of dice to go. Okay, so the last 2 dice were Americans, so this guy again just called a snap. He's just advanced himself closer to the units here, and this unit has also gone down onto ambush. So clearly just a bit of a standoff here between the forces trying to stop any of the Germans getting off the table. But they are a little bit exposed as well, so yeah. Right, so that's into turn 5, so I feel like it's swinging towards the Germans a bit now, because the Americans are losing units, which is not helpful. And this armour is fully intact now, just coming round across the centre of St.Vith. So we're heading into turn 6. So this could be the last turn of the game. And that's why it's very close, because for every American unit that's left, they get another point. So I still think that's just marginally ahead at the moment from the first points. So yeah, the Germans have got a bit of work to do to try and win this if they're not going to get units off the table, but there is the chance of one more turn as well after turn 6. So yeah, it's still in the balance. So head over to turn 6. Right, so turn 6 is off and running. I did a little bit of tot-up of the points, and the Americans are currently still on 15, and the Germans are now up to 14, so still slightly behind, 1 point in it. But remember, any American units left at the end of the game, you get another point. So still some work to do for the Germans. So first dice out the bag was this German one. These are all still on ambush from the last turn. And as you can see, the Panther has just moved up over the fence line into close range of this Wolverine tank, which is interesting. So it's got a super heavy anti-tank gun. It's in close range. It's shooting at the side armour. So at the moment it's on a +9 pen, and this has got an 8+ armour. So even just have to hit it, and it will be on full damage. So let's see how we go on. It has moved, so it's going to be hitting on a 5, but you do get +2 for being in close range. So it's going to be hitting on a 3. So we'll come back and do that. Right then, so here we go. So just needing a 3 on this dice. There it is. It's a 6. So that's a successful hit. So it has already penetrated, but let's roll the damage roll as well. So that's a 3. So that's, yeah, that's massive damage basically on that tank. So we get to roll 2d6 now to see what the damage is. Basically any 4, 5 or 6, and this tank's gone. Okay, 2 2s. So that means basically it's immobilised twice. So okay, so just work out that and I'll come back. Right, I did double check the rules, and as you can see that tank has actually gone. So it does say if it's suffers a further immobilised result, the crew abandons the vehicle and it's considered knocked out. So I've got two immobilised results, so it's gone. So the Wolverine is down. I forgot to mention that the Hull MMG will be firing at this unit here. I'm not going to go for the pin tool because I don't want it to be open topped. Just means that it could be pinned by small arms fire if I go to the open top. So just going to fire 4 dice into this machine gun unit here. So come back and do that. So again, I'm hitting on 3s because I'm at point blank range. 2 hits and then 3s. That's 2, and they're out in the open, so they are gone as well. So that's the Panther that has really caused havoc in the ranks over the last couple of turns. Okay, so we'll dive back into the bag. Okay, so the next dice out was German. But as you can see, there's nothing over here at all, and that's because the Stug that was there hadn't got a run order. So basically, it did a slight pivot, and just enough. There was 16 inches to the edge of the table, so it managed to get off. So the Germans got their first unit off the board, and that's another 3 points scored. This is what the Germans need to do right now. So we'll head back to the bag. Right, so it is getting quite desperate for the Americans now, but they did pull out a load of dice then. So these two have gone down, just to try and give themselves a bit more protection, potentially from some small arms fire, in case we do go into I did think about moving them around here, but they're a bit close, so they could have potentially got round and started shooting at these. So just trying to keep them as safe as possible right now. And then over here, the next dice out again was American. So this commander did a snap to action. So he's given these an advance order to try and move around here. He's given these a run order, this a run order as well, and these got an advance order. So I've moved these up first because they're going to shoot across at that machine gun team. But basically, I'm just trying to make them move around a little bit. Try and get as much out of the line of this Panther as possible in case we go into the next turn. Okay, so let's come back and do that shooting. Right, so because they are pinned still and they've moved, they will require 6s followed by 6s to hit, because it's going to be 7 to hit. So we've got a lot of dice, BARs and rifles, plus additionals. Okay, so 2 6s in there, so we do need another, at least another 6 to try and do something. No, okay, so and not even a pin. Okay, so we'll do all the other movements now. Okay, so all that movement's done now. As you can see, everybody's kind of moving around away from that Panther. So these guys are down here. The Greyhound got just across the fence line there. Remember, the Americans need to keep in their deployment zone, which is a 24-inch line here, which is just here. So just keep them there. And these guys will move advanced around. So they're going to be able to shoot at the machine gun nest as well. So everybody can shoot, they're all in range. The green dice are on 6s and the yellow dice are on 5s, which is the Sergeant's SMG. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3 hits, and then it's going to be 4s. That is 2 wounds, and they are out in the open, so they're dead. That's it. Okay, so they have killed something. Okay, so we'll come back to the bag. Okay, so there's no more action in turn 6, just a lot of movement from the Germans. Firstly, that Hanomag failed its order, so went down, tried to run. The Waffen SS just moved up to the fence line, didn't have enough movement to get over it. This unit here and the 2 commanders all got run orders, so they just came through the building. Obviously there's nobody shooting at them now on ambush, but obviously still not enough to get off the table. And then finally this mortar team got a run order, just try to leg it after their mates. I mean, they're not going to be able to make it off the table now anyway, even if there's one more turn. And then finally this platoon commander just moved around here. So that's the end of turn 6. I haven't looked at the points, but I think it's going to be close. So on a roll of a 1, 2 or 3, the game ends. And on a 4, 5, 6, we go to one more turn. So here we go on. It is going to be one more turn, so we'll go over to turn 7. Right, so we are at the start of turn 7, but I did have a quick look at where the points are at, because the Americans obviously still got 15. The Germans are now up to 21, so they're 6 ahead. And there's 8 American units left on the table, which means that maximum they can score is 23, which would be enough to win the game. But to be honest with you, this tank can easily get off the board. There's nothing can take that out. So that would score the Germans another 3 points, which will put them 1 point ahead. That's assuming all these units survive. So I think the Germans are likely to win, but what I've done is the first dice out was American. So I thought, right, just see how this goes first. So he called a snap, so he's ordered them to fire. These advanced round to shoot at that unit there, because another unit can get off the table. So that would guarantee the Germans a win. And he's also given these an advance order. So despite them all running away, yeah, they might have been better off staying where they were, to be honest. But anyway, it is what it is. Okay, so we'll do this one first and see what happens with this shooting. Okay, so the guys are hitting on 6s and the SMG sergeant is hitting on 5s. That's pretty good shooting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits onto that unit here. So let's go for the wounds. And that will be wounding on 4s. So that is just only 2 wounds. So 2 kill because they're out in the open. But they have got a pin on them as well. So let's move these guys around here. Right, so these can get some shots across here, but unless they can wipe this unit out, then the Germans are definitely going to win this game. So let's see what they can do. They need 6s. I can't see this happening, but here we go. The SMG is out of range. They've only got 1 hit and 1 kill. Oh no, he does get a cover save as well because the tank gives them hard cover, so he needs a 4. He saved it anyway. They do get another pin, which means they could still fail their order, but it's going to be very difficult because the commander's there. We'll just keep playing. We'll see how we get on. Just see if we can get these off the board. Right, so the next order dice was a German. So this commander did a snap to action, give himself a run order, give these a run order, and give the tank a run order. They rolled 11, so they failed their order. Oh dear. So yeah, so they were gone down, but he can get off the table. And he can now get off the table, so that's another 6 points. So that is a win for the Germans. Phew, okay, so that was an interesting game. Let me come back and we'll do a quick wrap up. Right, so that was the end of the game then. So, well, I thoroughly enjoyed that. That's actually I've only played a couple of games of version 3 of Bolt Action, but I really do think it's a great rule set. I think the tweaks and the updates really work for me. Didn't get into any hand-to-hand combat. I know that's changed as well. But yeah, and I thought as well, the scenario, although the scenario was from the Battle of the Bulge supplement, which came out in version 2, I think it converts well to the new rules. I don't think we needed to tweak it too much. You know, back then you just had the one big platoon type thing. Obviously we've got different platoons here, but I do think overall the same spirit applies. I mean, the scenario is designed to be difficult for the Americans because that was what happened in the actual Battle of St.Vith. You know, this is the Battle of the Bulge. The Americans were under pressure at the start of that battle. So, you know, that points difference does make a difference. But I thought the Americans held on really well. I mean, to be honest with you, for inexperienced troops, you know, they did give the Germans a lot to think about. This Panther, I think, ruled the day. I think there was nothing, once the bazooka team were out and this this M10 went down, and that one shot where it just pinged off the armour, if it just hadn't had that reinforced front armour, it would have gone through. So without that, there's nothing really that could touch that, touch the tank, because none of these have got any tank hunters or those sort of rules, etc. So, but actually, I thought they held on pretty well. They did hold the Germans up, gave them a bloody nose, but unfortunately, the Germans have pushed through, and that was their objective, really. So, yeah, fun. So I am aiming to try and get through the campaign book and get them all onto the channel. So I've got some more units coming in. We've got some of the newer models coming in from that's just been released before. I'm filming this in December 2024. So I had 2 boxes arrive today from Warlord Games with some nice stuff for me. My wife might not let me open it till Christmas, but there we go. We'll see how we get on. But I've got some extra units for the Germans, some of the new American sculpts as well. Got some more Fallschirmjäger coming in as well, Fallschirmjäger. So, yeah, we'll see how we got. But I hope you enjoyed that, guys. As usual, any comments, likes, dislikes, all that sort of stuff. You know, thanks for watching and keep yourselves well.